back to South Carolina, and joining me now from there, Washington Governor and 2020 Democratic presidential candidate Jay Inslee. Governor, thank you so much for joining me, sir.
Thank you.
Let's talk about what we just were listening to. I hope you heard it, Bill, and if not, you were familiar with it, what the president's reasoning was for calling off that strike against Iran. Do you believe that was the case, that he thought about the casualties and said, don't want to go there, that it wasn't a proportionate response?
Look, I don't know what happened there. All I know is it probably isn't a very good bet to trust a man that has told us untruths about every 2 hours for the last 2.5 years. I think the more important question, though, is why are we having this unnecessary tension with Iran? Why are we not observing the treaty, the agreement, which was on a path to keep them from becoming a nuclear power? Look, all of us are committed to Iran not becoming a nuclear power. We had an agreement. It was an enforceable agreement. They were complying with it. The international community was with us. There's no reason for this tension. That's the thing that's so troublesome for this. We need to go back and restore the international agreements we have to keep Iran from becoming a nuclear power. That's the path to peace. Look, I saw the Iraq War. I voted against the Iraq War. We should not allow that to happen again in this country.
So you would want to go back to the negotiating table, bring our allies there together and proceed in that manner?
Correct, but we already have an agreement with Iran. It's always already in place until Donald Trump, in a fit of pique, tore it up. This was an agreement, and the thing is interesting to me is that the international community had confirmed that Iran, in fact, was complying with the treaty. The problem statement is with Donald Trump. You know, wars are always a problem, but wars without a good reason are a tragedy. And we cannot allow us to slip into unnecessary conflict. So I am hopeful that the Congress will step up and assert some moral authority to prevent this president from going into an accidental and unnecessary war. It's something I fought against in the Iraq War. I'll do it again this time.
You certainly did. All right, Governor, let's go now to what's happening there in South Carolina, where I know you are addressing the state Democratic convention along with 20 of your opponents. You're at that podium in less than 2 hours from now. What's your message to voters there?
Message is that we need someone who has had a success as an executive building a strong economy, as I have. I've been very successful helping build the #1 economy in the United States because we've got the highest minimum wage, the best family paid leave. It's because we've got the largest compensation increase for our teachers. It's because we've passed the first public health option in America. But all of these things have to be seen in a context of the #1 priority of the United States, and that is to defeat the climate crisis. And I am the candidate who has made a pledge, and the only candidate who is making this pledge, and that is I will make defeating the climate crisis the #1 priority of the United States. It has to be the first, foremost priority. It has to be the thing that is the paramount duty because it is an existential crisis. And I have proposed a vision about putting 8 million people to work in a clean energy revolution in this country. And it is a way to beat Donald Trump, because we Democrats know this. Donald Trump is wrong. Wind turbines don't cause cancer, they cause jobs. And we're going to put people to work across this country building a clean energy economy.
I think you've made a very good equation there for putting the environment as well as jobs and health practices together. I do want to ask before I let you go, sir, because I know you've got to get ready for your speech, but the first Democratic primary debate, 4 days away now, you landed a spot on night 1. I'm curious your strategy to stand out on that stage above the other 9 that are going to be there with you.
Well, I will be the only candidate that has these 2 qualifications. #1, I've pledged to make defeating the climate crisis the #1 priority of the United States. That is a unique commitment, and my vision to do that has been called the gold standard by Ocasio-Cortez. It's been given an A by Greenpeace. I encourage people to take a look at it. You can go to Jay Inslee on my website and take a look at it. And I'm also got a message of economic development by building a middle class instead of a trickle-down economy. We have done the things to help build a middle class in our country, and as a result, we've demonstrated the ability to build the #1 economy of the United States. I'm a governor who've done that. I think this is a vision statement that is unique. I'm looking forward to that debate.
All right. Well, we're looking forward to seeing you on that stage. It'll be Wednesday
Thank you.
night, as well, in about an hour and a half or so from now. Governor Jay Inslee, thank you so much, sir.
Hey there, I'm Chris Hayes from MSNBC. Thanks for watching MSNBC on YouTube. If you want to keep up to date with the videos we're putting out, you can click subscribe just below me, or click over on this list to see lots of other great videos.